Who doesn't love a Battle of Helm's Deep? And today we have a pretty exciting one with close to 15,000 soldiers on the battlefield. The forces of Mordor will attempt to overwhelm this great fortress and destroy the defenders of Gondor and the elves. As you can see, the fortress is defended tooth and nail. The Gondorians have even gone ahead and donated a trebuchet to help maybe destroy some of the siege towers, and the walls are littered with elven elite warriors ready to unleash hellfire upon the incoming Isengard orcs. If you guys enjoyed this and you want to see more Dauntless Days on the channel, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. It really honestly does help out the channel and basically just lets me know that you guys want to see more content like this. But let's dive in and see exactly what the forces are bringing today. So we do have two attacking forces numbering just over 10 or just under 10,000 soldiers, and again they're bringing a whole manner of warriors. Again, it's pretty dark, but I'll add a little filter in my in Premiere to hopefully make it a little bit brighter. But as you guys can see, just a ton of Uruk warriors scattered throughout. There's even custom siege equipment again, which looks really cool. We have the berserkers back here as well, ready to overwhelm the walls as much as they can, and we even have some wargs of Isengard. One of the new units. Again, you guys can barely probably make that out, but you guys can see them, and they look really cool. The new unit, this was added in the most recent update, I believe. And there's even a piece of artillery back here ready to throw up, and we also have some explosive dudes to make a breach in the wall. And again, it always looks so cool. This map is awesome for it. We'll make sure we capture that. Defending wise, we do have a whole line of these Galadriel sword warriors. Again, they're going to be very strong. Tons of archers who will be firing up on that wall. And then we also have a force of Gondor, who I believe are mainly positioned in the inner keep. There's a lot fewer of them in this, but the Gondorians are here, and their main job is going to be defending the gatehouse as best as they can. Lots of Gondorian warriors in there to hold it. And oh my god, we missed it. Okay, I've had to come back because we can't miss this. It looks too goddamn good when the sappers make it to the breach in the wall and they unleash hell. Look at them, and then boom, just look at that. The particle effect is actually incredible. The amount of detail must have been to actually like lay them stones specifically is just incredible. And boom, the battle has well and truly erupted. As you guys can see, the siege towers are now making their ways up here, and the orcs and the Uruks are charging in, unleashing hell, and it's going to be up to the elves to try and defend this as best as they can. You can see more and more soldiers flying off the defenses and jumping in. Yeah, these siege towers are going to be a big help getting the soldiers in much more effectively, and there's not really much arrow fire honestly coming down. I'm surprised we're not seeing more and more flying in. We also have some of the cavalry from the Gondorians, Knights of the Silver Swan, just harassing. Yeah, these archers are really holding their fire right now. I guess it does make sense for this initial part because they're using siege towers rather than ladders. It's going to make it way harder to actually, score some hits. I mean, I guess you could do it from the inner keep firing down, but for the most part, they're going to be looking just to save that ammunition and kind of fire in and out, because you can do some pretty gnarly stuff with this position as the fighting does continue. Sorry, I need to make sure I get the angle like here, because if you look from the other side, the antenna lighting is just awful. And there you go, the fighting. But one of the nice things is now the elves can pull back with their archers and they can start firing in. Because this place is elevated, the arrows can do a really good job. You can also see some other shots coming in and trying to hit down these Uruk bowmen right there. The forces at the gatehouse are being harassed by the Knights of the Silver Swan, but more soldiers are being brought up. And I mean, just look at that. It looks awesome, right? The fortress walls, the rain pouring down. There's Fountain Guard as well, ready to defend that. And of course, it wouldn't be a Total War battle without the Total War, the Total War gate bug, where the gate just opens. Man, I hope in the new engine that they're developing for the next Total Wars, we're not going to have that bug anymore, because that's been in the game since Rome Total War, which is just crazy, right? Absolutely mad. Arrow fire is going off and trying to hit these guys, and realistically I would assume we need just like as much arrow fire as possible down on this position. It doesn't really seem like the elves are that keen about it. On the walls, the elves should be winning pretty handedly. I mean, they are surrounded, but they're also surrounding the Eversfold soldiers as well. Oh, and this is a really nice move here by the attackers, bringing up these ladders just to go ahead and hit them, because if you guys think about it, if these siege towers are down, it looks like either side the Uruks will be surrounded and losing quite a few men. But they're bringing up these ladders. They're kind of just like preventing themselves from being outflanked and getting soldiers off of the siege tower effectively. It's actually a really nice play, and yeah, it's great to see. Up here as well, we do have some Uruks about to, I think, march to their death. I don't really think they're going to fare too well here. There's Gondorian infantry behind the Fountain Guard, and they're charging in, but yeah, the Fountain Guard are going to be able to withstand that pretty effectively. You need like crossbowmen up here to start firing. But you can't really bring up crossbowmen because there's Aphelion Rangers up here, which are going to do the damage. I mean, I think Faramir is in here somewhere as well. Yeah, Faramir is in this unit of Aphelion Rangers somewhere, holding the defense, which is cool nonetheless. Mera's a lot back. I mean, again, numbers-wise, they're going to be really, really struggling. Oh, there's also a Sapper here. I wonder if he could explode. That'd be incredible if he could. Though the elves are able to kind of withstand this first initial wave, I don't think this position is exactly where they're looking to hold the line. Able to get a nice little envelopment right here on them Uruks down in that position. For the most part, I think this is where they're looking to break the forces of the elves on the walls, and of course through the breach. This right-hand side is going to be a bit more of a struggle with arrow fire coming down. I say that though, there's actually not that much arrow fire, and all the Aphelion Rangers of Gondor are just holding their ammo. Same with the elves as well. They're firing some shots, but really looking to kind of hold that back until, I guess, later on in the battle, more of the elites. Because there is a lot of these forces ready to go, and I think as well that a lot of these artillery pieces are also being held back to get kills rather than make breaches, which I think is a good idea. I mean, to be fair, the rest of the deeping wall is all indestructible, so you can't even destroy it even if you wanted to. Pretty strong defense, I will say, at the breach itself. We do have elves supported here by Citadel Guards, so some pretty sturdy defensive soldiers, but they are getting a lot of pressure pushed in on that. More soldiers coming down. I love what they've done as well with these walkways. In Attila, these are always such a pain. This is really just an awesome map. Again, I know some people complain that it's too big or whatever, but you kind of got to make a medium, right? You got to make a medium of like something that actually functions in the game and also something that looks awesome. And I think they literally hit the nail on the head with this map. And as you guys can see, the Uruk-hai are just pouring in. And this is again a really sensible place to attack the fortress, because right here you're not going to be worrying about any arrow fire coming down from either of these positions up here that you can hold. Like, this is a great place to kind of fight out from. Use your numbers, avoid that missile fire. The arrows are now firing in full effect. As you guys can see, the elves are ready to unleash that volleys into the big attack right there. And oh my god, it looks pretty brutal right here. Yeah, the arrow fire though, these elves should be able to unleash their ammunition very effectively. That's one of the strengths of the elves and their bowmen. They're extremely accurate, they're great in melee combat, but also it's the speed at which they can fire and unleash their ammunition, because most of the time you do want to get that ammunition out there quickly. You want to be able to just fire off your shots, and then you've done your damage and you can move on from there. And it does look like this defense, it's starting to dwindle. There's a few of these Lorien sword companies, these tier 1 soldiers that are going to be getting broken through. And once this breach is fully destroyed, I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of soldiers. And I think the biggest problem is going to be once this position on the right hand side falls. Once this position falls, and if we go to this map, yeah, once this position falls, we're going to have to get soldiers down the gate and then just really start to overwhelm. We also have the next wave reinforcing as well. And I think this is what's going to do it, right? We've got a lot better soldiers. We've got some of these White-Hand Grenadiers. They're basically like Nafatum throwers. They throw explosive grenades. There's Sauron, and Sauron have cooked up in the lab. There's Berserkers in this line. Lurks himself is here, and a bunch more White-Hand Stormers. So this is elite infantry and pikemen as well. And I guess that's what a lot of the Elven ammunition and the Gondorian bowmen are really saving for, but they're going to be up against it for sure as more soldiers get brought up. We're also getting more ladders being brought up, and again, I love this play. I love, in a big battle like this, bringing up the siege equipment in the battle, because it changes by dynamic, right? If you're the attacker, you don't want to have this static attack. You want to be able to be dynamic. You want to put the defenders under a lot of pressure, and bringing up more ladders, bringing up more assault points is just going to always be super important as the fight continues. And yeah, for example, if you can get your Nafatum throwers up here, oh baby, it's going to be good. But look at this as well. We've got Uruk archers. These are going to be sitting ducks for the Elven archers if they focus, which is exactly what they're doing. Nice play there. They're able to get these volleys down. This is always so dangerous as the defenders, and it does also seem like some of the Uruk infantry, which only have 69 infantry left, are going to be able to actually pin these guys down. It's going to make them easy pickings for the archers for a little bit until they can start firing back. Granted, they will break them, but yeah, this outer wall defense is looking a bit shaky, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the elves rushing up here to try and maybe defend this position or just pull back. I mean, it looks like the deeping wall, it has fallen. The right hand side is holding on for dear life. The breach itself, the warriors are fighting bravely, but just not enough. I mean, they've only lost 1,000 men for the defenders, and the attackers have lost close to 2,000. But it seems like they're getting, they're making their ground. They still have so much left in reserve. but I'm a little bit worried for the defenders, honestly. The arrow fire is now making their way coming down, but again, these Uruk-hai are in shield wall. I think this is exactly what this unit is here to do. It's here to be shot by missiles. The Aphelion Rangers are going to be firing down as best as they can. And I love as well, look at this. The archers, if you guys can see, I know it's so dark, I do apologize. The archers are actually up on the positions here as well, which looks super, super cool. It's always awesome to see them like elevate to the Aphelion Rangers coming down. And yeah, they are killing these Uruks, but again, I'd rather this unit of Uruk infantry die in shield wall than say a unit of my pikemen or my grenadiers or anything else. And look at this, another ladder. Gimli will be rejoicing as these ladders get brought up. And again, this is a really good move in between the siege towers. It's going to allow them to prevent that envelopment. It's going to allow them to almost envelop the elves as well, which I think is just, yeah, really... Yeah, look at them go up the ladders. It looks awesome, right? Oh, man, so cool. And again, I think this is just like stuff that will make the Dauntless Days campaign just so epic, right? All these custom bits, the detail, all the siege towers and the ladders. I mean, the siege towers aren't different yet, but, you know, all this extra custom siege equipment just adds so much extra flavor to the game itself. And yeah, oh, nice. We're getting some half-orc axes being broken. That's a pretty cheap unit, but still effective nonetheless. But yeah, this entire position is overrun, and as you guys can see, the Uruks are now pouring off. This is a good position. I've been getting berserkers up here and other reinforcements going to be important. The elves are going to be reinforcing this along with the axes of Losnok, one of the first of Gondor, and look at that, charging into battle as best as they can. The axemen retaliating with another charge of their own. A really nice position, and the elves are holding. Haldir himself is leading them. You can see Haldir right about there.
Men are broken and
he's going to be doing his best, but yeah, I think this position is going to be overrun, and they're going to be pulling back very, very soon. Luckily, the gate is still very much under control. There's not really anything. I mean, I say that, the Fountain Guard have actually taken a lot of casualties right there. 50 casualties taken down is not bad. These Uruk-hai infantry have done a decent job, considering there's no missiles here. I'm surprised how poorly the Fountain Guard have gone for a tier 4 infantry. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Last remnants of elves from the Deeping Wall are being broken now. Look at that. You can see them, the last stand of them, and you can also see the elves falling back, taking position along the large stairway. Getting some more shots off, and again, this is actually a really good position up here. They can get some really good shots into the side, especially focusing down below these berserkers. Be a very good idea. But yeah, shooting them in the side and actually reinforcing. They're not looking not to give this up completely. Actually, I guess isn't a bad idea at all. They still have some soldiers scattered around, and they are holding, but I imagine it's only a matter of time until these Galagian Sword Warriors and the Citadel Guard break. The Citadel Guard will be here for a while, and the Twilight Guard are going to be a pretty decent archer hybrid unit. They're heavy bows, but they're pretty good in melee combat regardless. And to be fair, the Uruk-hai are going to mass rout, but I think once this mass rout is done, the crossbows and the White Hand Stormers moving, that's tier 4 Isengard infantry, they can start to pour in. But I mean, to be fair, like, they do look a little bit light on the ground, the forces of Isengard. But I think a lot of their soldiers are very condensed right now, and as soon as that breaks, they're going to be in for a good position. The elves themselves are pretty low, and once they can reform out here, I think they're going to be in a much better situation where they can just kind of exploit that. They just need to deal with these last couple soldiers. I think this breaking is going to be pretty brutal, but again, all they need is like a big mass rout here, and a lot of these Uruk units are like half strength, 3/4 strengths. And they would break pretty quickly. But I think they're going to be able to get that damage down. I mean, we have a unit of Twilight Guard coming to reinforce this as best as they can. I just think it's a little bit too late. There's arrow fire coming in, like really good positioning here by the archers on the walls, able to fire down. And even if this does mass rout, there's White Hand Stormers ready to reinforce this. But yeah, I think this position is lost. There's no Elven ammunition left now. They're going to be pulling back. The nice little envelopment here by the Isengard forces. I mean, they're committing to it. Haldir is committed to this, I guess. Instead of falling back, they're like, yeah, we're going to try and just do as much. I don't know. They're in two minds about it, apparently. But yeah, this entire position is going to be overrun. The breach is gone, and that's going to allow them to get all of these soldiers in. On top of that as well, the Fountain Guard have been able to survive a little bit longer. They're exhausted and shaken. Only 96 kills as well. I'm really disappointed by them. I really, really am. There we have it. The last couple soldiers in the field are now going down. There's, 19 of these Twilight Guard left. There are still a handful of brave warriors fighting hard. Unfortunately, by the berserkers are going to be eating them for breakfast. This position has been completely overrun now as the remnants do start to fall back. And we are starting to get some battles for the inner keep now. Some of these Uruks are now making their way in. They're just putting pressure down. Not really going to be doing much here, but still able to pour in. And I like as well how a unit, there's like 3 attack points right here as you go up through the settlement. I believe you can also just go straight up onto the wall as well. Maybe not though. I thought there was a way up here, but I'm now looking at it and thinking there's not. We also have the gate. The Fountain Guard have now been broken, which is going to give these guys a much better time at being able to attack this. You see the Gondorians here fighting as best as they can against the Uruk-hai warriors. And this is going to be much better for them. They can start bringing up some better soldiers. The ammunition is still decent, and this is one of the great things about the Aphelion archers in this position is they can start firing directly down on top of them. So that reduces their shield defense and everything else. Crossbows are pouring in now. It's going to be hard to get these crossbows to actually be useful, but I think they'll be fine. And yeah, if we take a look at the casualties, I mean, the defenders, they're not looking good, right? They're not looking good. I mean, did I say that? 3,000 men, and they've killed about half of the enemy force, just under. Like, it's not awful, right? And a lot of these soldiers are going to be very prone to breaking. Like, a lot of these Uruk-hai units are already red morale. They're shaken, casualties inflicted, so there's still a lot of fresh, but if the defenders can kind of focus fire here and break the Uruks like this, then they're going to be in a very, very good situation. More Gondorian swords being brought around, and they have some good reserve. There's also another unit of Guardian Spears, and these are elite Elven Spears right here, so they're going to be much better than Fountain Guard, who are really a big disappointment. Also, one really funny thing is I just like to think that this guy like woke up late. This is one of the sappers. Like, he's the worst suicide bomber in all of Middle-earth. Like, he just woke up late to the job and everybody else had already blown everyone up, and he's like, oh, I guess I'll continue on then into the abyss. Most of the forces have now made their way inside of the fortress. As you guys can see, they've overrun this left-hand side, which I believe, yeah, this is how they get on the wall, I believe. No, is there? I'm not sure. Again, I always thought there was a way up here, but I mean, either way, taking this position is really big because it allows them to get this morale boost, which is nice, and also take it away from the defenders. Yeah, I think it allows them to get out here. I think maybe we'll have to see if they do start pouring off there. I swear there was a way around here, and it wasn't just a one way, because there is like a gatehouse there up into the Horn of Helhammerhan. I'm pretty sure. We'll see if they do start pouring in. We're also now putting a lot of pressure on the gatehouse itself. Lots of Uruks are now pouring in. And Gondorian line is starting to run out of men. Granted, they have plenty more, right? There's still plenty of swords back here, plenty of infantry. But this is where they need to start putting a lot of pressure on. The axemen are being brought up. They've completely finally cleared off the last unit of elven swordsmen, which were positioning themselves on the wall. Now that is gone. They can really start to bring in their soldiers, and they have a very healthy reserve. Ideally, these White Hand Grenadiers, if they can get into a good position, will be really strong. Unfortunately, obviously, right now, these initial waves aren't really anything too serious. They're committing a lot of warriors in here, just trying to make breaches in, just trying to do a bit of damage, weaken these guys down, and prepare for the actual proper units that are left to come. There are some archers still as well, and they also have an ammunition barrel here as well, so they can replenish their arrows, which is good. These Aphelion Rangers, I mean, I guess they're just not looking to kill these archers, because the archers aren't really doing anything. There's also artillery, and I imagine what you can probably do with the artillery is overshoot these walls and hit these soldiers here. If they could get like into the back of these guys, that would be massive. That would be some real big fiery balls of justice. Yeah, it does. Yep, it does. The position over there does come out here, and that's where we'll be attacking. Okay, good to know there. They should be pouring a lot of soldiers up here, though. Being able to attack this inner gate, like if you make a breachhead here, you'd be in such a good position, because you get your archers back here to start firing to the back of these guys. That'd actually be incredible. So yeah, nice move there. And I guess it's one of the reasons why you don't want to give up this left-hand side so easily, because then you end up getting outflanked like that, and that becomes a pretty big problem. Again, the attackers are just kind of committing all their reserves. I think this is a play to basically just tire up as much of the Gondorian force as possible. They still have plenty back here as well to reserve in, and I mean, so far this is looking pretty good, I would say, for the attackers. They still have plenty of reserves. They have good high quality soldiers, some more White Hand Stormers. The White Hand Stormers going to be coming up here. I think they are, yeah, this is going to be a real big problem for the defenders, a real big problem. Because if this unit of Gondorian swords breaks, I mean, obviously we've got some more elves coming up. Just getting any grenadiers or getting your archers up, crossbows up here, that basically spells defeat for the entire fortress. Granted, the Gondorians are doing an amazing job holding this position, but they are fighting, weak units right now. Nothing to really write home about. It's just these units are basically sacrificial lambs at this point. And this is what you need to do in a siege. You need to be putting pressure on every single position. You can see every place that they can, they're stretching the defenders, making them make choices. Do I want to defend this position? Do I want to give up this position? And just committing more men. And hopefully this plan pans out before they run out of soldiers. Granted, having the White Hand Stormers over here is going to be good. I also believe as well, the White Hand Stormers actually do have an encourage ability, which might be good enough to keep some of these soldiers alive. This is also pretty big over by the Gators. The Uruk-hai just pour in with their numbers. It's now pikemen are here. The pikemen are going to be able to dispatch the infantry very, very effectively. Yeah, they're going to be able to start sticking in and just doing considerable damage to these defenders. And even though the Uruks are now starting to commit a few better... I mean, I say that, they're not really committing good soldiers here yet. We still have plenty of reserves. Do they have soldiers raring to go? Yeah, they are. Yeah, this is really good by the attackers. I'm impressed. They're kind of staggering their attacks, but effectively, right? There's not going to be a single point where... they're committing these guys up here. Okay, I take back everything I said. No, but seriously, they're doing a good job at like committing soldiers when their lines are close to breaking. Like by the time these guys break, they need soldiers ready to keep up the pressure. But there's actually not that much left anymore. Most of their soldiers are being committed. I think this is a mistake to commit these guys up here. I think they need to be here because these guys are going to break within the near future. They just are. This position is going to be bogged down. You can only get so many soldiers here. And you already have White Hand Stormers raring to go. So I think you maybe split like some White Hand Stormers down here to go through this position. And then you throw the Berserkers through a different one. I think that's the way to go. And then you try and get some archers positioned on this wall to help out as well. It's going to be big. Oh yeah, this is also quite a big thing as well. Is you can actually get soldiers on the wall through this passage right here. And again, I think this map has just been thought out so well that like the defenders don't have like an insane advantage. Of course, they have a massive one by defending, you know, the legendary Fortress of Helm's Deep. But if the attackers play well enough, they can really start to push an advantage in their favor. You know, if the defenders get pushed back or decide just to hold this position, then the attackers can utilize that, get through that gateway, and then start clearing out these walls. You know, it's these positions that really make or break a settlement. And I think this is just like literally a perfectly designed one. Their defenders have a massive advantage, but the attackers can push their advantage by just, you know, kind of putting pressure where they need to be. And each of these positions aren't free. Each of these positions have to be gained, which I think is really important. You know, they have to clear the walls to get access to this. They have to clear the deeping fields behind to go ahead and get this position. They have to break through the gatehouse and push the defenders back to get access to here, you know. And then they need the soldiers to actually go ahead and utilize that, which I think is really, really important. Look at this. Crossbowmen now are in the position on the walls. They need to get these berserkers to go ahead and stop this Gondorian infantry from infiltrating this, but this is going to be massive, right? The crossbowmen firing directly down. The gatehouse is, yeah, not looking good. Yeah, this is a really nice play. The attackers have definitely impressed me in this battle. The berserkers are now engaging Gondorian swords, which is a great matchup for them. There's no archers to counter-attack that. These crossbowmen can now start just firing down on these good units. They need more soldiers. They don't really have more. They need to basically commit everything they can to this breach now because it is dwindling. The spear infantry is dropping. More pikes are being brought up. The Gondorians are doing a good job here, though. They're going to be able to break this, but look at this. The attackers are ready to attack. And I think, honestly, they're just going to be running out of men. The White Hand Stormers are now fully committed in here. And again, the White Hand Stormers is such a strong unit down in this position. You guys can see that this is like the one position which I think is going good for them. And they can now start committing. Yeah, I'd try and get more men up here if I can. Gladian Elves there. And we also got Knights of the Silver Swan here, but this is pikemen here. Pikemen will be able to repel them very effectively. And over here as well, the Berserkers are engaging. And as I said, the Berserkers are doing a great job against these Gondorian swords. I think they are being hit by missiles, but the crossbows are now firing down. And every single volley them crossbows get are going to just be massive, right? Going to be absolutely huge firing down. They're going to be able to rack up so many kills. And yeah, being brought around here. We do actually have Haldir reinforcing though, looking to help out. But the crossbows, yeah, every volley they get in the back here is going to be big. Focusing on Aphelion Rangers, focusing on everything else. More reserves are being brought up, and there's another unit of Gladian Spear Warriors here. I mean, this is just an absolute mosh pit. Shoulder to shoulder, you can see the Uruk bodies. But Isengard are definitely taking their pound of flesh in this battle, but are not able to find it. And I don't think this is going to be the breaking point for the Gondorian line. It's going to be either up here or over gate, and I think it's going to be over gate, honestly. But there's not really a lot to exploit here either, which is the problem. I say that, but I'm kind of tempted to take it back because the crossbows here are just melting this unit of Citadel Guard from the side. How many kills do these guys have so far? 132. That just goes to show the strength of these crossbows, and every volley they get off is just, yeah, look, this unit of Citadel Guard, one of the most expensive Gondorian units, is just melting. The Gondorians are sending some Pelargir Marines to deal with these guys, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. By that point, this position might be already lost as more and more soldiers get committed in, and then we still have these Grenadiers as well. I would have probably brought these Grenadiers back round, because if you get these guys on the walls, oh my lord, it'd do some serious damage. Unfortunately, there's not too much else over here. The wargs are ready to pour in if they can. But the gatehouse is still holding, even though they are fighting more pikemen who are making quick work of the spearmen who are defending. This position is looking good. A lot of the weaker units are now breaking, but yeah, we expected them guys to be the ones falling. I don't think they're the White-Hand Stormers. I think the White-Hand Stormers are still... Well, maybe they are actually. Yeah, okay. I mean, the Gondorians are holding there pretty admirably. Good on them. I did not think they'd be able to break 3 units of White-Hand Stormers like that. They did. They've obviously lost a lot of soldiers here as well, but doing pretty decently. Okay. The defenders are still holding on for dear life. And numbers-wise, it's looking pretty even now. 3,000 for the attackers and just under 2,000 for the defenders. There is still hope, if only a fool's hope. And it's going to come down to just who uses their units efficiently. Can these crossbowmen continue to cause mayhem? And I think the Pelargir Marines have done the Lord's work there, shutting down this unit. 160 kills at this point in the battle was massive. The Pelargir Marines have said stop that and are reinforcing. The artillery is also being brought up as well. I'm surprised we're not seeing some arcing shots here. Because, like, if you can get some shots into the back of these guys, or just, like, up here, all it takes is one good shot, and you literally turn the... This is honestly the last-ditch effort by the attackers now. They've committed everything. They're trying to bring some wargs round, but the Knights of the Silver Swan doing a great job at just picking them off. And again, the Argonauts, oh, is it going to be enough, though? Then wargs could have just about broken these guys. I think a war cry, yet hunger for blood to try and break the Gondorian spears here as well. If they break them, that's going to be scary, because that opens up a big attacking point now. And the defenders are running out of men. We do have Haldir reforming up here. The last of his ammunition is going to be fired down on these pikes, I would assume. And they just need a little bit more of a push. The crossbowmen are being brought up here as well. I think they're going to have this. Yeah, I think they have enough here with the Berserkers to break this, because it is only Gondorian sword infantry and they are running low on men. And if they can get the crossbows up here again, there's so many. They just need one breaking point. They just need one position to be overrun, and I think it's either going to be at the gatehouse, it's not going to be over here, or it's going to be over here. They also, as well, keep in mind, have these grenadier throwers, which are going to be so crucial to winning this battle. It really is. But yeah, that's everything. There's a general unit out here. Lurtz is moving up. But outside of that, this is everything. The attackers have committed their entire army to this battle, and all it takes is obviously one position to go down. No, all it takes is this right-hand side to break. They can come around reinforcing this. This position starting to go down. I think, honestly, these spearmen probably need to start falling back now. But the problem is, if you start falling back here, you start breaking. Could the attackers... Yeah, this is the thing. If the attackers are aggressive, they could maybe try and kill this and then fall back. They can't ideally leave these guys and fall back here, but they need more men in the city center, I think. Actually, no, I take that back. There is a unit of yeah, oh yeah, okay. They've got an elite unit of spearmen here. These guys are going to be able to hold this position from any attackers. Okay, that's a little bit less scary. It's a little bit less scary that this position is not going to be attacked that heavily. What is going to be scary is if they get crossbowmen up here. I mean, it is honestly GG. So if I was these guys, I'd probably take this unit of Gondorian swords, go up there. I would try and probably break this fast and then see. That's good. Obviously, Lurtz dying is going to be big. That's going to really start putting them under pressure. I'm just really surprised this artillery hasn't really been used much. I would have been lobbing shots like back here constantly, but seemingly that hasn't gone in. Also, these Gondorian spearmen right here have done incredible work, right? These guys have been holding for a long time under a lot of pressure, under pikemen, under... I think there's berserkers in there. Yeah, you name it. These guys are fighting with everything they've got. Obviously, being supported by the Knights of the Silver Swan definitely do help, but yeah, that pressure is going to be a problem, I think. Oh, wow, we're getting some grenades being thrown. From where? Where are the grenadiers? Are they in here? Or are they up here? Oh, they're up here. Wow. Yeah, this is big, and there's nothing these guys can do about it. So the grenadiers are just being lobbed in here. Look at the explosions. Unleash hell. That's going to be terrorizing this unit. Yeah, that's doing so much damage. How many kills are they on so far? They still have so much ammunition left, and there's just nothing they can do about it. 200... No, sorry, it has Haldir's unit. So let me get on these right-hand grenadiers. 88 kills. At this point in the battle, that is massive. That really is. And the Gondorians are starting to pull back now. This unit, Gondorian spears. There's crossbowmen. Lurtz is about to be on the wall. I think the fortress is lost. There's crossbowmen back here as well. Bring these guys up here. Wow. Yeah. I think the fortress is going down. More grenades coming down on this unit. They're trying to rush back in as best as they can. I think focusing this is big. Problem is, though, if this breaks, there's not really much to exploit, but there's only 3 very depleted units here now. There's nothing really to reinforce whatsoever. But I guess at this point, it is just simply killing as many of them as can. Look at this as well. There's nothing really the Knights of the Silver Swan can do. These crossbows are just finishing them off, whittling down their numbers. They can even decide to sit there and get shot and waste ammunition, or charge into pikes and just die anyway. I mean, to be fair, I would probably pick to choose to charge into pikes, but that's exactly what they're doing. One last charge. The Wrath for Ruin. I mean, maybe even dismounting them wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Some of these pikes are turned around. Look at that. Like, these guys are not facing the right way. And the last charge of the Knights of the Silver Swan. Yeah, brave warriors indeed. I mean, putting the play was just let him get shot to waste his ammo, but you might as well charge him in. Okay, the Grenadiers are completely out of ammo now as well. The last couple of volleys here, getting some good shots on the Gondorians. This position is broken, and I think we've got a full-on retreat now as the Uruk-hai just blitz their way through this position now. Getting them Grenadiers up there has completely changed this battle now. As you guys can see, the last remnants of Gondorian soldiers who are holding on for dear life have now been broken on this position. There's barely any of them left. The archers, Lurtz, can now start firing as well. They've completely cleared up this part of the wall. And yeah, this last defense is going to be a desperate one, to say the least, as the Uruk-hai prepare themselves. And these are White-Hand Stormers, untouched as well. That's going to allow them to go straight through there. Unfortunately, I think obviously there's also some crossbowmen. I thought there were some archers around here. Maybe not. Yeah, if you can get these archers up here as well, they can start firing down. And yeah, the Hornburg is lost. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a big mass rout by the defenders or just a complete surrender. But I mean, what a defense that was. Only 500 brave warriors left. All we have to do is kill 3 to 1. But I think at this point in the battle, there's a little bit too much to ask. With the arrow volleys come flying in. Again, focusing down this elite unit. There's only 8 or 5 of them. Oh, that was cool. That was so goddamn cool. As they prepare to defend. Push back the Uruk-hai. The arrow fire, not going to be doing too much. Problem is, though, this artillery is being brought up. The problem is they still have pikemen and there's no ammunition left whatsoever. Oh, wow, you can come around this way as well. Wow, I did not even realize that. So Infantry are going to be able to make their way all the way around now and look to defend this. Haldir is rushing to hold the line. Unfortunately, there's no ammunition left on this up here. But look at them come. Haldir is going to be charging in. He must be exhausted. How many kills has Haldir got? Yeah, 230, definitely not a bad amount. But here we go, getting stuck in. The Berserkers scattered around. Theoden is cowering his keep. Look how awesome this, man. So goddamn cool. Haldir putting up his last stand. Every position is under pressure now. These elves are down to 72. I mean, they're doing a great job. There's just too much. The crossbows able to fire in. The gatehouse being overrun. These archers? Yeah, these archers are being brought up now. And I think that's going to be the nail in the coffin, honestly. This piece of artillery being brought around the long way. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. Crossbows firing now. But yeah, there you go. Haldir fighting hard. There you go. Haldir goes down, unfortunately. And I think that's going to see the majority of the soldiers. Yeah, as long as these crossbows are just being utilized effectively, the archers should be appearing, yeah, on this position soon enough to fire in. And yeah, I think we'll be getting a mass rout. To be fair, though, it's not like Isengard have a ton of soldiers left. They could quite easily mass rout, but unfortunately, I think that's not going to be the case. With only a minute left in the battle, I think we're much more likely to see a big mass rout here by the defenders, especially as soon as the archers start firing shots into their back. It's going to be GG. There's a little bit too much ammo left on the attackers, with the crossbows now able to get a good sideline into these Gondorians. And as they try and chase them, they're getting killed by the infantry. The archers are now appearing on this position, able to start firing into the back. And I mean, what a defense! What a defense there! They really held to the very last. And I think this battle was around about 50-something minutes long, so they got close to holding the line. But yeah, just being eviscerated there by crossbow fire up on the walls. A valiant defeat indeed, but really a good one nonetheless. And I'm sure kill-wise here, you can see some of these elven units racking up 300 plus kills, 400 on these spear warriors, which is really good. The Gondorians, again, doing very good as Citadel Guard. This unit for Fithian Rangers with 600 kills. That's crazy. They probably got the refill ammo barrels quite a few times. And then over on the other side, we see the Uruk-hai trying their best, but of course, they just have numbers more so than anything else. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, drop a like, drop a comment down below. Let me know if you want to see more Lord of the Rings action on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.